Greetings, folks. Look, I want to update you now on my election rigging fraud investigation because, as you know, I've been quite public since the night of the general election, what I witnessed myself in Turin-Cahill polling station, along with, despite numerous requests, letters, emails, telephone conversations to the Bills office in the House of the Oireachtas Services, I have requested that I wanted on numerous occasions the full copy of the marked register that I was entitled to under the electoral laws as an independent candidate. But I want to share with you now a very up-to-date letter that I received now from the Bills office in the House of the Oireachtas yesterday from Mr. Ronan Fox. So he goes on to say, "Dear Miss Keane, I refer to your request for copies of the marked register for Kerry made pursuant to section 131 of the Electoral Act of 1992. The marked register includes copies of various alternative registers, including registers for members of the Defence Forces and the Gardaí, voters designated disabled, members of the diplomatic services, lists of prisoners with votes, and those on the anonymous list of electors. This postal and special voter material was not released with the general copies of the marked register already supplied to you, due to concerns in relation to the sensitive character of the information contained in these alternative registers. I wish to advise you now that these additional postal and special voters lists will be made available to you upon request. If you wish to receive a copy of these, please let us know via email," and they gave me their email address. "Please note that you have signed a statutory declaration to the effect that you shall not and do not intend to distribute the information contained in the marked electoral register. The data contained in these lists are sensitive, and redistribution of copies of the marked register and or postal special voters list may not be lawful under the Electoral Act of 1992. Furthermore, please be aware that the requirements of the Data Protection Act 2018 and the General Data Protection Regulation Act of 2016-679 may apply to your handling of the personal data contained in the marked register of electors, as well as the additional postal special voters list. As noticed above, if you still wish to receive a copy of these lists, please inform us by email." Now, I have now wrote to Mr. Ronan Fox and Peter Finnegan, the Clerk of the Dáil, and the Minister for Justice, and the Taoiseach, and An Garda Síochána, and this is the response letter that I have wrote and sent to Ronan Fox in the Bills office. I said, "I acknowledge receipt of your letter dated the 13th of May 2025, where I note that you have finally admitted that you have failed to furnish me with a full copy of the marked register, and you now state that I can have access to this. I am now requesting you to furnish me with all the additional in various registers, including members of the Defence Forces and the Gardaí, voters designated disabled, members of the diplomatic services, lists of prisoners with votes, and the note of the anonymous list of electors, and all parts of the marked register that I am entitled to be released to me as a matter of urgency. I am also writing to formally acknowledge and express serious concerns regarding the failure of the Bills office to provide me with the full copy of the marked register of electors, despite my having paid in full to access this legally entitled material. This omission constitutes a breach of electoral transparency and accountability, and, as you are aware, is a violation of electoral law. Such a failure has severely undermined the integrity of the election process and my ability to properly scrutinise the conduct of the votes. Furthermore, it is now a matter of public and legal record that a fraud investigation is currently underway into allegations of election rigging. This includes serious concerns raised about the conduct at the Turin-Cahill polling station, where a presiding officer was witnessed by me tearing out ballot papers in front of me on polling day. This shocking behaviour must be fully investigated and those responsible held to account under the law. I trust that the relevant authorities will take this matter with the seriousness it warrants. I remain committed to ensuring electoral fairness and transparency, and will continually to pursue all lawful avenues to uphold these principles. I would like to make a request to inspect all the ballot papers for the constituency of Kerry, as thousands of people voted for me, and I'm now on a mission to find out where all my votes are gone. Also, please furnish me with all the new links to the MARC register and the state ballot records, as I cannot access them this morning. Please acknowledge by receipt by return as to when I will have all these additional copies of the MARC register, along with the links to everything on the MARC register. Regards, Michelle Keane. Now, folks, this is very serious, what I'm after getting and what I'm after sending. 100%, I am under no illusion that I believe, in my opinion, this election was rigged. And this, has to be now. The government now have to be accountable for this. And I'm now going to proceed with my next steps. But look, a huge thank you to all my fans, both locally and nationally, who are continuing to support me. And without your support, this would be no good, because out of public interest, I am making you aware of what is going on in this country in regards to election rigging. But look, I'm Michelle Keane. I'm keen on my country. And let's make Ireland great again. Gura Mila Mahagav.